Okay, welcome everyone. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. Today, different than what I usually do when I start my classes, we are going to go straight into the practice and we'll do a little bit of a seated meditation by the end. So I'm hoping that you will stay with me until the end so we close the practice together in that way. If you just join this practice, we are going to be using a chair most of the practice. So you need to go and grab a chair from anywhere in your house, okay? So welcome everyone again. Thank you for being here. And um, so what I'm going to do is that I'm starting on the chair already, not sitting on the chair, but I'm putting it in front of me on my mat, okay? So what I also did is to put a blanket to pad it. My chair in particular is pretty thin and it's also cold because it's metal, so I'm putting some padding on top. I recommend that if you also have a very hard or wooden chair, okay? So now as I look at my chair, I'm facing it. What I'm going to do is to use my mat as a reference for the distance that I'm going to use for my feet. So I'm standing in front. I'm going to put my feet right outside my mat. So my feet are wide, but they are not extremely wide, okay? They are just outside my mat. And of course, if you need to at any point bend your knees because you feel your hamstrings are being a little bit too pulled and it feels sensitive, then you're going to bend your knees whenever you need, okay? Before we go into the shape that we are going to take first for the chair, I want you to look at your feet. Make sure that they are parallel to one another in the same latitude. I want you to try and press into the balls of your feet so you can lift your toes and we start engaging the inner arches. And from there, if you can, keep the necks of your toes elongating. So lengthen the toes forward and try and make a little bit of space between them. And then you let them be reset down on the floor with as much space as you can possibly make between them. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but we are just trying to start activating more the sole of the foot, the feet, so we can also activate blood and energy into our bodies, okay? From here, I'm going to come and grab the seat of my chair with my hands. And one important part in this is I want you to look for a second that I'm not going to let my pelvis and my hips come forward, okay, off my heels or feet. So I'm going to try and keep my sitting bones above my heels at all times. So you may need to adjust where the chair is. And I'm going to put my forehead on top of the chair. I'm saying forehead because I'm recommending that your nose is out of that chair and blanket so you can breathe easily. Okay, so I have my forehead on the chair, and once I'm set up and I feel like I'm steady and my hips, as you can see, they are still above my heels, I'm going to put my forearms on my chair and just rest my arms above my head, right? Like in front of my head. So I can just rest the arms, rest the forehead. And we are going to start breathing through the nose here several times, okay? So start breathing here with more awareness into the central axis of your body. And as you connect with that breath and you sense the rhythm, the quality, the sound, see if you can also bring the attention into the sides of your body, the back plane of your body, and also the front. And as you take a few breaths there, bringing the attention to the sides and the front and the back, what I want you to notice also is if you are dropping your belly a lot. If you are doing that, I want you to try and bring the base of your rib cage a little bit in, so you engage a little bit more in the abdominal cavity. And also, as you do that, you are nurturing your kidneys, which are at the base of your rib cavity, okay? So try to almost like dome a little bit in your mid back. We take another breath here. This is a very modified downward facing dog. very modified, but it's a good way to start stretching and awakening our bodies, okay? Then from there, slowly, I'm going to bring my hands into the seat of the chair again so I can push and lift myself halfway, okay? Just halfway. And then I'm going to bring my feet into my mat so they are hip distance apart. And this time, a little different. Again, always checking that my sitting bones stay above my heels. I'm going to, this time, maybe I need to come a little closer. This time, I'm going to put the forehead again on my chair and I'm going to release my arms. If they touch down, that's good. If you feel like this is too much and the hands are not touching down, you can again go into the chair and hold either the legs, maybe a little lower, like I'm showing, or just put the forearms again on the seat, okay? This one is a little bit more intense than the other one because we close our legs. What I want you to try and do is press firmly through the base of your toes, lifting inner arches. And like I said before, if you need to bend your knees, bend the knees, okay? Drag the lower belly in. Take a deep inhalation here. And exhale. And one more. Good. Then I'm going to again bring my hands onto my seat if they were not there, pushing myself up. Good. I'm adding another version of this, okay? So now, again, similar idea, but I'm going to walk my feet a little further back. And now you see how my arms, they become straight. And now this is, again, another modified version of the downward facing dog. So I'm going to keep my feet hip distance apart. I'm going to lift inner arches. And this time with my hands, I'm going to start pushing my chair away. You see how I'm trying to send my hips and my sitting bones up. And I'm trying to keep my head in between my arms or dropping naturally the head there if it doesn't hurt in the neck. And if you need to bend your knees slightly and then play with re-extending slowly, you can do that several times, okay? So bending the knees and then re-extending. Marcy, if you need to, instead of hold the chair, just put your palms on top, right? Or like rest the wrist there, that's good too, okay? So you can always modify, guys, if you need. Good, from here, I'm pushing through the center of my heels down. I'm lengthening the spine and I'm trying to drag my lower belly in. Remember that we want to avoid sinking in the kidney region, which is right below your rib cavity in the back plane of your body, okay? So instead of letting that area drop, bring it up a little, dome it, take a deep breath in, feel the power in the legs, and then slowly walk yourself towards your chair and come up. Ah, very nice. Shake it a little. I'm facing my chair still, and from here, with my feet again, hip distance apart and parallel to one another, I'm going to start firing and engaging more my legs. We already started doing that, but in the standing posture, I want you to engage your thighs, your quads into your bones, and I also want you to engage your glutes, okay? So standing tall, pressing into the heels, take a deep inhalation, bring the arms up overhead, lace your fingers there and then press with your palms up towards the skies. Feel that engagement in the glutes. Bring the front ribs in. Lengthen the spine, lengthen the arms. One more breath here. And then with the exhale, release the arms. Beautiful. Now I'm going to again do my Tadasana shape or standing posture. I'm moving my chair so you can see a little better. This time I'm going to come behind, let's say, my chair so I can touch the backrest. Okay, so I'm hoping that everyone has a backrest in the chair that you chose. So you just make sure that you can touch it from behind. You see how I like with my hands I'm touching? Okay, so once I know that I can touch the backrest of my chair, again, I'm going to look at my feet. Again, I'm going to make them parallel, hip distance apart. I'm going to press into the base of my toes. I'm going to lift inner arches. And again, I'm going to engage my glutes, same as we just did on the other side, okay? Now I'm going to inhale, send the arms up again. This time, lace your fingers and press with the index fingers up towards the skies. Again, engage the glutes, ribs in, extend through the sides. And with the exhale, this time, as I bring my arms down, I'm going to also bring them back and catch the back of my chair. So in this one, what I'm doing is create opening in my chest and my shoulders and collarbones, okay? For me, because my chair is empty and there's no backrest, I can put my hands over to the other side and grab the bar, right? But not everybody has that. Now from here, I'm going to bring my shoulder blades into one another. I'm going to lengthen the sacrum down, the tail. I keep engaging my glutes, and I'm going to try and lift the sternum up to the skies, lengthen the back of your skull towards the skies as well, and take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Lengthen the bottom tips of your shoulder blades down towards earth. And instead of popping the ribs out, just try and keep the center of the chest lifting, but the rib cavities moved a little bit in and down towards your pelvis. Good, and then I'm going to release that, shake it a little bit through the hands, walk a little bit around. We are going over to the other side again. Okay, good. So now I'm going to show you something else that we are going to do, and there's two options that you can choose. If your hamstrings feel okay and you don't feel pulling when you are folding over, then you can do this from standing, and I'm going to show the version that we are going to do. If when you fold over your legs, it feels like here it's a little tight, then what I recommend is that today you're going to use your chair. You're going to sit and you're going to do the fold like this, because I'm going to do some other stuff there. So you need to be feeling comfortable with being folded for a little while, okay? So this one is a very good way to do it, lying, like just letting the torso come down. My feet are a little wider than my hips, and I'm resting here, okay? For the ones who want to do it in the standing posture, same idea, feet parallel. I'm bending my knees a little, I'm folding here, and it's very important for what's coming that you are able to touch down with your hands onto the floor, okay? So that's why I'm saying that maybe the chair version today may feel better for you. Good, once you're here, whichever version you're doing, look at your toes, look at your feet, lift your inner arches, and what I want you to do is to try and look at your big toes and see if you can lift the big toes without lifting the other toes. What? This is challenging. So that's why I said you need to have your hands close to your feet. Usually what I do to practice this is that I bring my hands into the other toes so I can really press into my other four toes and lift my big toes off the mat. Okay, take a deep breath in. Extend the neck of your big toes forward and then release the big toes down. Ah, good. Now I'm going to move my hand so I can press into my three last toes and lift my second toes off the mat. Does the big toe want to lift as well? Yes, mine does. So I'm going to try and press into all of the toes, but the second toes, and lift them. And once I'm lifting, I'm also trying to lengthen and then release the second toes. This looks fun, but it's not so easy. Now I'm going to try and lift my third toes without lifting the other toes. What? This is challenging, but it's very good for the brain and for your legs. We are igniting a lot of work in the legs. Good, lengthen and lift the third toes, then release. And then I'm going into my last two. So first I'm going to try and lift my fourth toes. What? Those are the most difficult ones for me. They don't respond. Good. I'm pressing into my other toe so I can lift the fourth toes, lengthen and lift, then release. And then do the same thing for the pinkies. How is it going? Pinky toes, as much as you can, press into the other toes. Very nice, Sheila, sitting on the chair, and Mark, also awesome. Beautiful. And then after you did all of them, release that. Ah, good job. Bring your hands to your hips. For the ones who are sitting, you're just going to sit up, right? And for the ones who are standing like me, we come to standing. Beautiful. The ones who are seated on the chair, stay there because we are all now going to come and sit, okay? But for the ones standing, shake it a little. And now, yes, we are all coming onto our chairs. And we are going to do what the people who were sitting already, they were doing. So I'm going to look at my, we are not going to repeat the toe thing, but yes, we are going to put the feet a little wider than the hips. And in this shape, it's going to be much easier to be able to touch down with your hands, which is what I want you to do, okay? So look at your hands, make sure that they are grounded. If your arms don't get all the way down and you cannot touch with your hands the floor, then I recommend bringing blocks, just showing in case, and you put the blocks right under your hands because we need a platform where we can see our hands like the same way we did with our feet before, okay? So either a little higher or a little lower. You look at your hands under the shoulders, and now we are going to play the same game that we played with our feet. So see if you can keep your 4 fingers pressing down firmly and lift your thumbs. This is very good for your wrists, okay? And we are also telling our brains to get going with change because everything changes, right? So we work on adaptation. We release the thumbs, pressing down through the thumbs, and we try and lift the index fingers and extend them as much as you can. Take a deep breath there. Then release the thumbs, sorry, the index fingers, and then we're going into the third fingers or ring finger, right? I think it's called, no, maybe not. Third fingers, just lengthen and lift, then release. Then the 4 fingers, lift them up if you can, keeping the other ones down. And then release. Of course, it's okay if there's another finger lifting. And then I'm going with my pinky fingers, trying to press the rest of my fingers and palms down, and then release. After you did all your 10 fingers, drop the head completely down. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out without holding in the neck. And then we slowly push ourselves up. You can bring your hands to your thighs or knees and come and sit up. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we are standing back again. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gradually going from simpler to less, okay? So you know me that you can always stay in the steps before if you need. Now I'm going to come again to face my chair, and what I'm going to do is to start on my left side. I'm going to put my left foot right under the chair in front of me, and I'm going to make sure that I can come and catch my seat, okay, with my hands. And my right leg is going to go back, and I'm going to turn the right heel in and the right toes out. So my back leg is in a diagonal, kind of like when we do a warrior one and we have that back leg with the foot pointing out into the diagonal, okay? But I'm not doing that shape, but that's what we want with the back leg. Now, if you feel like this is very unstable, then you widen your stance more. So in between the left and the right foot, you make more space, okay? Good. Once I'm there, I'm trying to keep my arms straight. You can press your palms into the chair or hold the seat the way that feels best. And from there, I'm going to lift my belly, and I'm going to start pushing my sitting bones back, okay? So I'm lengthening both my hips back towards the wall behind me. I'm lengthening the torso forward, and I'm going to follow the line of my spine with my neck and my head, okay? So in this one, we are activating again our legs a lot, but also our spine. So I want you to press firmly through your heels. I want you to also use the base of your toes, the balls of your feet a lot, lifting your inner arches, and push both your hips back, lengthening the spine. Once you have that, if you have, like me, a backrest in your chair, I want you to try and bring your arms right on top, or your wrists on top of your backrest, and stretch through the arms, pushing those hips further back. And I hope that maybe you can see my head is coming in between my arms. So I'm following the line of my spine, gazing down at the seat of my chair. Okay, this is big for the legs. So if you need to micro bend or bend your left knee, the front knee, please do so. But keep your lower belly moving in, push the hips back, lengthen through the spine. Stay there for another breath. Ooh, that looks really good. Nice. Super. And then you bring your hands back down onto the seat of your chair and push yourself up. Good job, guys. Good. And then you're going to bring that back leg to the front, shake it a little. Awesome. And we're going to switch. So I'm going to put my right foot under the chair, under the seat. I'm holding it so I can send my left leg back. I'm turning the left heel in and letting my toes go out to the sides in a diagonal. Okay. Once you have that, make sure that you can hold that stance, right? That shape. And then you're going to go and hold the chair again, or put the hands on top. Okay, good. From here, we are activating our feet again. So feel the center of your heels spiking down onto earth. I usually try and press into the mounts of my toes and lift the toes so I can spread them a little more, like we played before, trying to lift the toes one at a time. And now I'm going to start sending my hips back. Once I have that motion, I'm starting to feel more of that pull in the hamstring, right? It's normal. So if you need to bend that front knee, you micro bend that knee or bend it a little more, okay? But I'm still using my muscles into my bones. Squeeze the buttocks into one another, lengthen the trunk, and then if you can, my chair is a little close, bring the arms a little higher, put them on top of your backrest, and from there you stretch the arms away from your torso and you send your hips further back. You see how I'm trying to create a long line in my spine? And I'm trying not to sink in my chest or my lower back. So lift the lower belly in, breathe in through the nose, and exhale. Feel that length in the sides of the body, but also in the front and the back, okay? And don't let the lower belly drop. Lift it into your kidneys. Beautiful. Then I'm bringing my hands down onto my chair again, bending the front knee if you need, bring that back foot forward, and we come up to standing and shake it a little. Yay, good, excellent. Let's keep moving a little more. I'm going to use my chair again and I'm going to mirror you guys, okay? So now I'm going to sit on my chair and the right side of my body will be against the back of my chair, okay? So right side of the body sitting against the back of the chair. Good. Then after that, my right leg, if you can, and you have legs there in the chair that have some space in between, which should be common, I'm going to bend my right knee and let my foot go inside under the chair. What did I do with my foot? My foot looks like this. So I'm not tucking the toes. I'm just letting the top of the foot rest, which is also very good to stretch the front shin, okay? So if you can do that, I'm doing that. Good. I'm holding myself because my chair is very slidey, so I'm moving around. And I know that maybe you won't feel like you're completely seated because one butt cheek will be a little bit out, but it's okay. So I'm going as far in as I can. I have that right leg in. I'm going to send my left leg out to the side. Very good. I can see you guys. And I'm trying to keep my left hip in line with my knee and my foot. Okay. You may need a little bit of space to do this. Good. Now from here, I'm going to keep that leg actively pushing into the mat with my heel. I'm going to try and keep my chest facing forward, and I'm going to put my left hand on top of my left thigh. Good. Super. From here, we are going to inhale, right arm up. Nice, everyone. Keep the chest facing forward and then see if you can slowly start sliding with your left hand down your leg and bring the torso over to the left. Now, as you can see, you can, one of the things that I want to say is sometimes the neck becomes like unhappy being here, so just let it drop, it's fine, okay? And also I'm trying to stretch that right side over to the left as much as I can, but keeping my chest facing forward. It's a big stretch, okay? Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. One more. Good, and then I'm coming back and releasing. Beautiful. Bring that left knee in, left leg in. Take that right leg out. For you guys, if you want, you can just like roll yourself over to the other side. I want you to see me again. So I'm going to move my chair the other way so I can be on the other side. Okay. So now what we're going to do is to sit with the left side facing the back of the chair. Okay. You can change it around the way you need to do that. Super. Now I'm going to put my left leg under. So I'm bending that knee, letting the foot rest on that side. I feel my butt cheeks more or less grounded on my chair. And I'm going to send my right leg out to the side. And again, I'm going to check hip, knee, heel. And I'm pushing through my heel with my toes pointing up. Okay, you know what's coming. I'm going to try and keep my chest facing forward. Whenever you're ready, take a deep inhalation and send the left arm up. My right hand is on top of my right thigh, beautiful. And then slowly I'm starting to slide and move over to that right side, trying to keep the chest facing forward. And don't worry about the head being up. You can let it drop like I'm doing, okay? I'm just trying to not lose that right side that tends to go backwards. See if you can bring it forward and up, okay? Push through that right heel, feel the stretch in the left side. Take a deep breath in. Notice, bring awareness inside. Anything that arises like sensations, thoughts, songs, pieces of information, part of the awareness. Then slowly coming back, releasing that left hand, bring that right leg in and sit for a moment. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Ah, very nice. Okay, I'm standing now back again. And again, I'm going to use my chair doing a different shape, okay? So now I'm facing again my chair, and we're going to do something a little bit more active for the legs and the rest of the trunk and the body in general. I'm going to bring my right leg in front, and I'm going to let my shin or the base of my knee touch the seat of the chair. I'm going to hold also the chair, okay? And I'm going to send my left leg back. So this looks like what? We do this a lot in classes, a lunging posture, right? So this time for today, I'm using that base, right? The rim of the seat to hold the base of my knee. Okay. And once I have that, I'm also using my chair as a helper to help me lift the trunk. I'm pushing my back heel down, but I'm not letting my hips drop completely. Okay. So keep them a little bit up. What I want us to do here is to fire up the inner left thigh, lift it up towards the skies, and see if you can firm your right hip moving into your body and back a little. So even though I'm pushing with the inner side of my right knee into the chair, I'm trying to lengthen my right outer hip back. Okay, it's a lot of work. Push the chair and lift the trunk, and see if you can bring your upper arm bones back a little to lift the chest. Okay, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. Now shift the weight forward so you can bring that left leg and come up. Ah, shake it a little. Awesome. I love working with props, you can see, right? Because they give us different sensations and awareness in our bodies, okay? Good. Now I'm going to switch sides. Now I'm putting my left foot in front. This, one of the things that I like a lot about using the chair for this shape is that it helps us line up a lot, right? That shin in a manner that sometimes we don't do on our own, or the knee starts playing games and going side to side. So this is a really nice reference to firm the knee joint, okay? I'm sending my right leg back. I'm placing the base of my knee at the rim of the seat of my chair. I'm, of course, holding myself with the chair here, and I'm moving my right leg a little further back. I'm going to try and firm my hips into one another. I'm pushing the chair to lift a little bit, and now I'm using that rim to push. Now I'm trying to bring the inner side of my left knee closer to the rim of my chair as I lift my inner back thigh and push through the heel, okay? Lengthen the side body, bring the upper arm bones back, and can you press into the balls of your left big toe as you lift your inner arches, mainly the front, right? Good, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. If you don't use your hands here, or you have to avoid that, you can bring your forearms, okay? And you can do it here. Good, another breath. And then I'm shifting my weight forward and coming with my back leg to the front and standing. Yay, shake it a little. Super, okay. I'm going to show you the next game that we are doing. I need to move my chair. I'm going to put it sideways again. Well, it's the same as it was before, but I'm just moving it to the other side, okay? If you have a floor that it's hard, you're going to need padding for your knees. So add that. We are going to use the chair and padding for the knees. I don't need the padding for the knees, so I'm going to put my padding on my chair. Now, before I go into the next thing that I'm going to do, don't sweat it, okay? But what I'm going to say is, if by chance you have a chair that has a space and it has a bar where you can hook a belt, that can be cool for what's coming, okay? So what did I do? I'm just gonna show you. I did a small loop in my belt. I'm showing there a little small loop, and then I just put it around my bar, and then I looped, or like thread, the tail of my belt so I can just hook it there and have it as an extra support. If you do not have a chair that has a space where you can do that, don't worry at all, because this can be done without it, okay? It's just an extra helper that I really like. But if it's not happening today, forget it, okay? So I'm just saying that as an extra. Okay, now I'm going to be kneeling, right, on the support that I have, and I'm mirroring you guys, okay? So we're going to go with the right leg first. I'm going to send my right leg inside under the chair, same shape that we did when we were sitting. So I'm pushing through the heel and my toes are pointing up. And I'm going to make sure that, or try to make sure that my knee and my heel are more or less in the same line, okay? So I have a line in my mat so I can see if they are lined up similar, okay? Good. Super. Once I have that, I'm keeping my left hip above my knee as much as I can for now. Your choice if you want to tuck your back toes or keep them untucked. That's for you, depending on how that feels. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to bring my right forearm into the seat of my chair. Okay, so you need to be close enough. You can, of course, move the chair a little closer if you need it. So forearm onto the mat. If you have, like me, well, not everybody has this, but that you can hold the back of the seat, you do that too, okay? Good. Now, again, I'm going to try and shift the chest up towards the skies. I'm going to fire my glutes. So I'm really squeezing to send my pelvis a little forward, okay? Two options here. If you are one of the people who have the belt like me, we are going to bring the left arm up and you're going to catch that belt and you're going to pull for that from that belt to help you twist the chest and bring the torso up to the skies. If you do not have the belt, forget it. You're going to use that same version that we are doing, and we are just bringing the arm over the head and pushing in the through the forearm to shift the chest and the belly up, okay? So either or. If you have that belt, I like it because there's something that you can pull from, and it helps creating that twist in the trunk, okay? Much more than if I don't have it, but it's totally fine. Now, the important part here is to squeeze the glutes, to turn the belly up. And again, you can drop the head or gaze down. Now, sometimes we tend to collapse in the right shoulder. So push through your elbow and forearm so you're not collapsing in that side, and try and keep bringing the chest up. This is big, okay? Take it easy. And then slowly push yourself back up. Ah, very nice. I can see you in the windows. It looks great. Sit back down. Ah, take a breath. Stay there for a second. You know what's coming. I'm just going to move myself over to the other side, and we are going to do the same thing, okay, to the second side. Good. When you're ready, move your stuff if you need, or you just walk yourself around. And I'm going to now line up my my right knee with my left leg. Okay. Now it's the left leg going under the chair. I'm pushing through the heel. I'm keeping my toes up. I'm bringing my chair pretty close so I can grab the seat of the chair with my forearm. Good. First, I'm going to ignite my glutes. So feel that squeeze behind you that supports your lower back. And then from there, I'm going to bring forearm onto the chair. Okay. Once we do that, sometimes that side starts collapsing because it's much easier, okay? So I want you to push the chair away so that shoulder doesn't collapse. It's very important for the chest and for the upper back. Send that shoulder back a little if you can, okay? Good. Now from here, again, I'm firing my glutes, taking my right arm up. Awesome. And you are just like stretching that side over or catching the belt. If you have the belt, to pull and twist the belly and the chest over to your right, sending the belly button up to your nose and the glutes into one another. Stay there. Take another breath so I can come and check you out. Beautiful. Ah, Denise, that looks awesome. Susan B as well. Grace. Oh, that's so cool. Nice. Pull from that belt if you have it and twist the chest up to the skies. Fire those glutes. Beautiful. Release the belt or release that side. Slowly come back. Nice. Good. Bring that left leg in. Sit back for a moment. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Okay, very nice. I'm going to add one more little challenge. Okay, so one more that I want to do that it's really good. And then we're going to slow it down also with the chair. So now, instead of facing the seat of my chair, what I'm going to do is to turn my chair so it's facing the, I'm going to say my back wall, okay? So I'm facing the side of my chair and the backrest is here, okay? Now I'm going to stand. What I'm going to do here is similar to the lunging posture that we did before. So I'm going to bring my right leg in front, the left one is behind, and I'm going to try and rest the base of my knee onto the rim of the seat of the chair, okay? But I'm going to change it up a little. The back leg is going back. I'm pushing through the heel. I'm going to firm my hips into one another without sinking, okay? So I'm lifting a little bit. I'm pushing with my front knee into the chair. And this time with my right arm, I'm going to, I did it upside down, sorry. I need to change the chair. I need to change the chair and put the backrest to the other side. Sorry, I messed up. So I'm going to bring my left arm, forearm onto the chair so I can twist over to my right. This is what I want to do. So I'm holding with my right hand the backrest. With my left forearm, I'm putting it on top of the seat. I'm pushing the shin into the chair and now firming my hips and keeping that back heel pushing back. I'm going to lengthen the trunk and use my right hand to push into that backrest so I can twist the belly and the chest over to the right. Okay, try and bring the right hip back. Lift the torso, lengthen the spine. Don't sink into your left shoulder. Push it and turn over to your right. I'm holding the chair at all times, okay? Nice. You don't need to bring any arm up, okay? I'm using one arm into the backrest and the forearm, the opposite forearm, onto the chair, on the seat. Good. Push yourself back up, bring the back leg in front and shake it a little. Yay, sorry for that misunderstanding. Now, yes, I'm going to change the chair over to where it was. So I'm like facing the side of the chair and the backrest is towards the camera, let's say, okay? Now I'm going to change it up. I'm going to put my left shin coming towards the chair, right leg is back, and I'm using that side of the chair to push into it, okay? Good. Once I have that, firm the inner legs, push through the back heel, and now I'm going to use my right forearm onto the seat. I'm going to push that seat so I can twist over to the left, and I'm using my left hand on that backrest to help me push and twist over to my left. Good. Now lengthen the left hip back, push through the back heel, and now drag the torso long and up to the skies. Notice the sensations. One more breath. Good. Then slowly return with the trunk. Bring the weight forward and come up to standing and shake it a little. Nice. Okay. Beautiful. I'm going to move my chair again so you can see. This time again, I'm going to face my chair. And for me, I'm going to add a little extra padding because I'm going to sit in front of the chair. And usually when I sit, I like to have a little bit of elevation, okay? So I'm putting my extra padding in front and I'm going to sit and I'm going to widen my legs, not extremely wide, but just into a V letter. Good. Once you get there with your hands, you're going to spread the flesh of your buttocks a little bit back and out. Same with the backs of my thighs. And I'm pushing through my heels. I have my chair close by. Okay. Good. And then once I'm here with my sitting bones really grounded, again, I'm going to find a place where I can rest my forehead on top of that blankie or chair without the nose being affected. So you can rest here. You can bring your arms like we did in the beginning, forearms on your chair and put the forehead to rest. In here, I want you to soften the face, to notice again the rhythm in your breath, the sound. See if you can make space in your throat. And notice all of the waves that arise in the ocean of your awareness. Like I said before, perhaps thoughts, ideas, situations, to-do lists, songs, anything. See if you can breathe, watching those waves passing, releasing, discerning what's important to keep with you and what can be released and let go of. We add one more breath. And then we slowly lift the torso up towards the seat. Beautiful. I'm going to change a little bit of this now. So I'm going to bring with my hands, my knees into one another. And I'm going to let my left leg go under the chair as far back as I can send it, straightening that leg towards the other side of the chair. My right leg is going to do the tree pose. So I'm bending my knee and bringing the sole of my right foot towards the inner left thigh. If that right knee is very elevated, I highly recommend adding a block or a couple of blocks or another blanket or a roll underneath so you can support that side without having to create tension in that place, okay? I'm going to look at my chair or face my chair again, sitting tall. Good. Let's walk, if you can, walk up the hands into your backrest a little to lift the spine, roll the shoulders back and lift through the crown of the head. Push through your left heel and press the left thigh down, the thigh bone or your femur bone, press it down to earth, okay? Take a deep inhalation here. And with the exhale, I'm going to, again, find that fold with the forehead resting at the seat, right at the very edge of the seat with the blankie on top or some kind of support if you want. If you want to add a little more with the arms just going towards the back of your chair, if you have the space, you can do so. If not, just bend the elbows and stay there, okay? Keep extending through the left leg, feel the sitting bones grounded. Take 2 breaths here. Good. Then slowly lengthening the spine and pushing myself back up to a tall seat. I'm bringing my right knee in, extending that right leg, shake it a little bit if you need. Good. Before I'm switching sides, again, move the flesh of your buttocks a little bit further back to make space. Bend that left knee and drop the left knee to the side in the tree pose for that second side, okay? Once you're ready, sitting tall, first, let's inhale, send the arms up, push into the right femur bone, make it heavy, gently, right? A gentle push down, pushing through the heel, and then you bring yourself towards the chair. If you can grab the sides, you grab the sides. You can bring the forehead down and stretch a little bit more through the arms first. This is one option. Second option can be to bring the palms a little higher to the very top of your backrest, if that's available for you. Or you can bring the forearms down and rest here for 2 more breaths. Of course, I didn't say, but you can add padding under the left knee if you need it. Fluid, long breath. Use it as a lantern for awareness, kind of bringing that lantern in and scanning sensations, breath, thoughts, anything that shows up. Good. Then we slowly come up, bring that left knee in, extend that leg, shake it a little bit. Beautiful. Okay. I want to do 2 more things. I hope I can get there. Okay. So the first one is that I'm going to use that blanket that I was using as a support underneath my sitting bones, as a support under my shoulder. So I open it up and the rounded portion is the one that I'm going to use to set my shoulders right at the edge, okay? I'm going to move my chair a little bit and I'm going to use a block for this one. And then I'm going to bring the chair back, okay? So now I'm going to lie down. I'm going to set up my shoulders right at the edge of that blanket. So there's just a gentle natural curve in my neck, right in the back of my neck, and the head is rested. I'm going to have my feet a tiny bit wider than my hips, and I'm going to use the block in the highest of the positions possible for you, okay? This is going to be a tall bridge pose because I want us to open up the chest and the lungs. So I'm going into the highest, I'm lifting my pelvis, putting my sacrum right on top. If this feels like it's too much, you bring it one setting down to the medium, okay? Or if the medium is too tall, you bring it one setting down into your flat block or book, okay? Now from there, whichever is the height that you chose, you're gonna walk your shoulders away from the earlobes. You're going to try and lace the fingers, passing your block if that's available in your body, because if you have very short arms, that's not gonna happen, okay? So don't worry about it. You can also catch your mat and push it, right? So you keep moving those shoulder blades down and away from your neck. Now, if you're starting to feel sensitivity in your lower back, that means that you need to engage your hips and your glutes. So what I'm doing is to engage my glutes, squeezing hard, sending my sacrum into my body and firming also my hips into the midline of my pelvis, let's say, okay, into the center of the pelvis. So that can help you a lot release that sensitivity in the lower back, okay? Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. One more time. Good. Then press through your feet and lace your hands. Lift the pelvis to take that block out. Slowly bring the torso down. Don't do anything just yet. Take a breath. Bring both feet wide, like at the edges of your mat. You can bring your arms into the cactus shape and let both knees drop over to your right. Take a deep breath. Then bring both knees back to center and over to your left. And another deep breath. Good. And I'm slowly coming back. Hug both your knees into the chest. Rock them a little bit side to side. Good. And then I'm going to roll over to the side and press up to a seat. Okay, now I'm going to give you two options for what's coming, and it's the last shape that we are going to take. I'm going to bring my chair again, and I'm keeping that padding that I had before, at least for me. Two options, and you're going to choose which one is best, okay? If you happen to have something like this, which is called a bolster, or a pillow that it's kind of firm and it's pretty big, you can use that. Yes, Mark, I think it is. It looks great, okay? So something like this. If you do not have anything like this, you're going to keep that blanket that we use for the bridge pose exactly as it is, because it's perfect. You're going to bring your shoulders again at the border of that blanket. And from there, we are going to set up what I'm going to show with the other pillow, okay? So that one, or if you have like me, what you're going to do is to put that pillow long, a little bit under your chair, and you're going to come and sit on top. For the other ones, what I said stays the same, right? Your shoulders are going to land in the border of your blanket, okay? For the people who are doing like me with the bolster, what I'm going to do is put my shins on top of that chair. This is for everyone the same. And I'm going to walk, let's say, or push a little bit my butt towards the chair, so I can come down and my shoulders will be outside my bolster, okay? So not on the bolster, but right outside. This is a really nice heart opener, lungs open, collarbones expand, and it's really good for tired legs or varicose veins, or when we have a lot of tension going on for the time that we are standing or in the same position for a long time. This is also very good to settle the lumbars and the abdominal area together with the kidneys. So we are doing a lot of things here, okay? So give your arms an opportunity to rest on the sides, relax the shoulders down into either your mat or the blanket if you had the blanket like before. Soften the face. My shins are rested, right? My calf muscles are resting on my chair, on the seat of my chair. And we're going to take this as a mini Shavasana, okay? So I'm going to tell you when we let go of this. Rest rest the back of your skull. Relax your muscles. Let your bones become heavy. You can slowly start sinking deeper, letting all of the internal fluids settle and become calm and peaceful. Receive a gentle inhalation through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Give yourself a moment here. Don't rush out of your chair. Take a moment to wiggle your fingers, your hands, maybe moving the head gently side to side. And then slowly slide the shins out of the chair to bring them into your chest and rock a little bit side to side. Nice. Then we'll slowly roll over to the side and press up to a seat to take the seat that will mark the very short meditation we'll take to the end of our practice today. So maybe with your pillow, your blankets, or maybe even using the same chair you were using for the practice, you can take a seat. Let your palms rest, eyes closed. Bring the attention in, elongate the spine, drop your jaws, and investigate your breath. Give yourself this time and space to bring the awareness into the rhythm, the sound, the beat, relaxing the tissues of your throat, keeping the spine long and the cervical spine long as well. Yoga is a reminder that we are mind-made, and the more we bring our awareness into the creations of our mind, the more we can discern and realize that all of the pieces of thoughts that we gather throughout our days, they become like a quilt, right? Little pieces, thoughts, songs, poems, situations with people, worries, and imagine all of that being sewed or yes, sewn into a quilt, right? And then our mind puts all of that together, all of those bits and pieces, and we call that our me, quote unquote, or the ego, and we define ourselves with all of those pieces. But yoga helps us breathe into all of those things so we can observe them and we can make space, and we can recognize that sometimes we become too attached to that creativity that our mind has, right? Those pieces that we put together. So maybe they are not so certain, not so true, and we can, the same as we do in our practice, investigate and play and become creative like we did today with a chair. Same thing in our lives and with our thoughts. So it's a good opportunity to be reminded that yoga helps us release, let go, soften, and not be so grippy into reality. Bringing our palms together in gratitude, let's rest the thumbs into the heart center. Take a moment to bring a positive, supporting word that will hold you throughout the rest of this day, and that will be perhaps your anchor whenever you need. Thank you all so much for joining practice this morning. Namaste.